memorandum from Vince Spagnolletti and roadside cleanup weeks. I know the town used to do roadside cleanup. I don't know if we've done it recently. The Steuben County Legislature has approved roadside cleanup weeks for all cities, villages, and towns. There'll be no charge at the Bath landfill for up to 20 tons of garbage and 10 tons of tires. We have a few of those. This is for roadside cleanup, not house-to-house pickup. Choose any 2 weeks during the year. Please notify John Emo at our Bath landfill with your scheduled weeks. Deliver the garbage and tires in town trucks. Weigh in at the Bath landfill entrance. Truck drivers shall notify scale attendant roadside cleanup weeks. Separate the tires, appliances, and scrap metal. Remove tire rims. Metal containers greater than 2.5 gallons should have the ends cut off and be crushed. Liquid waste and hazardous waste will not be accepted. So I don't know if we
haven't done it since I've been on the board, but I know the Lioness Club used to do it. And they used to get their bags from the county.
Oh, yeah, the roadside, yeah, Jack had a bunch of, and Barry said they still have some of those orange bags, he thinks they're at the park. I know, Jack, that they've done it, I don't know about the tires and the rest.
You get it, Judy, you get
Huh?
a hold of all the organizations in the town, and you get everybody together, get them all together on certain
Days,
or
yeah.
like that. That's where you get all your help from.
Okay,
And then you have the highway crew pick it up.
Picks it up,
and
yeah.
They take it down and sort it out, and then they take it to Bath. That's how it works.
yeah, 'cause I thought that you guys used to do that before. Is it something we wanna try to get together? I know there's a lot of tires around, but whether anybody can get them up out of the gullies, I don't know.
I don't know if we got enough volunteers to do that, will you?
I do 21.
Most of the tires are over the bank, and I'm sure how I ain't going over that.
Yeah, well, no, the tires are one thing, but, I mean, if we can get people to clean up some of the roadside trash and put it in the orange bags, that's not difficult, I mean, to do. Most of a lot of kids are bored now.
If I if you can get volunteers, but
Well, we can always see what we can get, and if we don't get any volunteers, then there won't be any trash for Richie to pick up, so.
That's true.
And if we can get
it's
some.
always been a good idea, it's just trying to get people volunteers. I mean, you used to be able to get organizations like the Scouts or that, you get a
Mhm.
crew together and
Well, it's any 2 weeks during the year, so we can put this on hold and see if we find some groups
Yes,
that
best
wanna
thing is-
do it.
Put it on social media and see if anybody
Mhm.
wants to grab it and run with it.
And then we can pick 2 weeks and go with it from there. Okay, we'll put it on hold and put it on Facebook. And the website.
That'll get people talking.
Well, that might be something they'll wanna do. We have a a water water problem as usual. All of the houses are supposed to have regulators on them. We only have about 20 people that actually have the regulators on their system. That's a tiny little thing. The cost is $60 to $70, and then they have to have a plumber really put it on. It's not something that they can put on by themselves, and Barry didn't wanna, you know, even give a suggestion on how much a plumber would charge, you know, to do it. He said it shouldn't take a plumber more than less than an hour to do it. If we don't have the people require that they put the regulators on, we have a vault repair problem. There are 3 vaults or 4 vaults? I think 3. 3 vaults, which are a minimum of $10,000 each to repair. That we're gonna have to do because there's definitely a pressure problem. And one of them already needs to be repaired, and he's been band-aiding along, and the other 2 have been working. He has to sort of have a decision pretty soon because he can't afford to have a second vault go down. So he and I have talked about it. They're required, so we could send out a letter to everybody, give them a deadline to have them installed. If they don't install them, there is a problem that the pressure could get so high and blow
Their faucets out.
blow their faucets up. Yeah, exactly.
Why wasn't that required in the first place when they were put in the?
That would be
Is this something new? that
right.
they've decided?
No, it's not anything new.
I
They've
didn't
always
know that.
been. They should have been required from the very beginning, but everybody cries they don't have the money.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to have the money to
Well, yeah, exactly.
clean up the water after
Yeah.
the faucets blow off, so I would think, that we should make them required and, tell them if they're not put in within this, say, the cycling of the bill, that their water will be shut off until it's put in.
Well,
I don't think you can go that
I
high.
don't know if you can.
Depends on what your water law says. And if, we're talking about pressure reducing.
Yeah, the
valves.
regulators that
Pressure.
Yeah.
regulate the pressure, yeah.
So if your water law requires that they be installed, then the folks have to do it, and then the water law should provide for what happens if people don't comply.
When was this water law mandated or what?
I'm sorry?
When was this law mandated for the water regulator? As my point was that they should have been put in when they hooked up the water, period.
Probably.
Probably, or
Yeah.
soon thereafter, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, this would be a local,
you say the water law, but
Town
we
law.
don't have a water law that says that we have to,
I think
Yeah,
we
we do. I
think
believe
they
we do, yes.
no. It's
They
for the
do?
water district, yeah.
Mhm.
you've gotta have one that provides
Yes,
for
you should
how
be
often
greater
people
something
get
about all
billed
the
and
messages.
Yeah, and then
what happens if they don't pay and all of that stuff.
I don't know where it is. It used to be in the bathroom, in the bookkeeper's office.
How many people we got hooked up, you know?
About 200.
200, and you said there's only 20, that's it.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and that's the problem, and he's been repairing the vaults all along, but now we're talking major repairs to the vault, so,
I would say send them a letter. Let's go along with
I would
what he said.
think you would have to draft a letter, wouldn't you?
Sure.
With the town attorney, draft a letter, this is the regulation, and then we gotta figure up a consequence if they don't comply, whatever it says in there.
You'd be limited to what your local law says.
So, do you know where that is?
well, I'll have to find it, I don't.
Okay.
Pretty
I
sure it's
have not.
online.
I don't no.
No?
No, I've never seen it. All I've been told about it, that's the one that'll, when new people, when you buy a house or sell a house,
No,
that's
that
when they
never
gotta
happens,
hook
yeah.
up
They gotta
and
hook
that
up,
kind of
right.
stuff. That's the only thing I remember about this law, so. So I know somebody has it.
Well,
Very
it's
might
gotta
even
be
have
here
it.
someplace,
Very
it'll
might.
just be,
They've read it before, cited things in it, so they gotta know where it is.
Okay. There are a lot of local laws on the town's website, zoning,
Right, that's not the
ethics.
water, this is a water district, and the water district has its policies and procedures in that.
Yeah. You think probably not, Martha?
No, I don't think the water's on the local law website.
No,
Okay.
the water district.
do you have any water laws?
I will look through what I
Okay,
have.
well,
I
I'll look
haven't-
through the
Check with
old,
Barry, he should know, because I remember them talking about it.
well, he
It's
knows
on.
they're required, I mean,
Okay.
so I don't, he may have the law, I didn't ask him specifically for that. But I think we have to give them a time frame
Timeframe,
that
yeah.
they absolutely have to have this done by.
And
was-
that may also be prescribed in your water law. That if somebody's in violation, you send them a written notice and they've got 30 or 60 days to comply, and if they don't, then they suffer the consequences.
And they also, when he's checking this, he should also be checking out, who's purchased homes and haven't hooked in, cause that was a requirement.
Yeah, that's never been, I know, because,
They said they
Right.
had no way of tracking, well, they most certainly do, because
well,
they all
Bill
get.
knows the sales, yeah.
Right, and they also know when you do an address change,
Mhm.
who to bill.
Well, the only ones we know about that are the ones who call for a final reading.
Mhm.
So they are already hooked up to the water, or they wouldn't be calling for a final reading.
Right, but then you should be watching for when the sale comes through and make sure they're hooked up.
Is it
Well,
the
they
law that, say, somebody has a house that's served by a well, and it's been that way for years and years and years, and then the house gets sold, is it then a requirement that the new owner hooks up to the water
They
system?
should
Yes.
hook up.
If
I
they're
don't
in the
know-
water
I
district?
don't
It is
know
the
if
law.
it's the new owner or the old owner has to do it before they sell, I don't know, you'd have to look at that.
Okay.
But we also have some residents that have well and town water.
Okay.
They use the town water for drinking, cooking purposes, their well for bathing and
Taking a
watering the
shower
garden
and then
stuff
doing the
like that.
laundry, yeah. Okay. And then if I could get if I just drafted a generic letter, and then if I'm gonna send them out, I'd need a list of all the people who are in violation.
And apparently Barry knows it.
I was just gonna say, if Barry has a list, we
Oh,
can get
yeah.
it for you.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds like about 180.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with, look for a time frame in the law, and if there isn't a time frame, then what do we wanna give them, 60 days?
Would you have to send, it's not a
Is it- is
law.
there
it's
such a thing
just,
that we can-
No, I mean, he said there could be in the law that if they're not, if it's already in there, and then we send a letter saying you don't have a regulator on, you need one, that
Okay,
you have
so-
60 days to
so what's the
comply
penalty-
or,
So what's the penalty, people who say I'm not gonna do it?
I'm drawing a parallel here with the Village of Naples
Mhm.
water law. And if somebody's in violation of something, and it's fairly complicated or extensive law, we have to cite for them the section that they're in violation of and a summation of what it says, and then give them that required period of time to fix it, and then tell them what could happen if they don't fix it.
Up to the town putting it in and going on your taxes and
We just passed a local law that says we can do that. Civil penalties, fines, and if the civil penalty doesn't get paid, we can levy it onto the tax bill. As we kind of strengthen our,
Now we're re-levying a lot of the water bills in the first place. So I'm afraid we're not gonna
Yeah.
get too good a response on the regulators.
but sooner or later, the town will get paid. If it gets re-levied to the tax, then it goes down to the county eventually if it's unpaid, and the county pays the town.
The county's gonna pay us one way or
Yeah.
another.
The only other thing, when, you know, Barry was talking to me about it, that I thought, cause you're but that's not really gonna work, that if they say they can't afford it, it's still cheaper for us to buy the regulators, but they'd still have to put them on. That's something we don't wanna take the responsibility for doing, and
No.
then putting it on their water bills.
Do they say anything to you about backflow, valves? They're supposed to
Backflow
be-
preventers?
Right,
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to be on there, and I think a lot of people don't have those either, so
I
why
think
you
if they
checking
have
that?
isn't that if they have the well water too, Jeff?
Yeah.
Can you hear? I think that's what I remember the discussion being, that they need that backflow if it's, if they also have a well.
I think the health department
Requires
requires
it.
Period,
yeah.
right?
residential and
Mhm.
commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause something could back up from a residence
Mhm.
and get into your water supply and
Right.
contaminate it.
Well, we probably should cover that in the same letter, since we're aware that
Right.
there's people who don't have that, who are supposed to have it. So we'll find you the law, and
I'll take a look, yeah, you can look and I'll look, and it can run but it can't hide.
we must have one somewhere.
Who are the water commissioners? Would it be the town board?
It is?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not, we don't have water commissioners.
Okay.
We could search for them, but I doubt we can. Okay, next thing is, I discovered on the current phone bill that we're paying $43.01 a month for a phone at the park.
Mice calls or.
I mean, the park is open 8 weeks out of the year, and we have a phone that we're paying, and everyone has a cell phone that we pay for.
Oh, it's just the park phone. I don't think there's cell phones there.
No, I mean, why are we paying $43 for a phone at the
and
park?
I think I asked before, it was because to take it off and to hook it back up costs you more.
I
That's what
know, but why
remember.
do we need a phone there?
Excuse me,
Park business.
Emergencies,
Emergencies, park business.
911, that stuff.
they used to have a program where you could put a phone on vacation or whatever. So instead of paying for a full year, maybe you could pay for 6 months or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be something. They used to have that program, they
I
probably still
think
do.
that's residential, though. I don't think they probably do that
For business.
for businesses, but.
Years ago, when we checked into it, it was cheaper to leave it on than it was to turn it off and then turn it back on.
You know, but $43 a month? We have 2 lines and we get one for free, and the other one's only like $18. Once again. Okay, well, if everybody's looked at that, I just thought that was crazy, and especially
Well, it
if the
wouldn't hurt
park's
to
not
look.
gonna be, huh?
It wouldn't hurt to check with them
Yeah.
again about unhooking and then hook it back up or something.
Yeah,
Maybe what do? You buy those flip phones at Walmart for that time frame. Who knows? I don't know how they work. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
then you'd be handing out new phone numbers for contacts
yeah.
every year.
Oh, well, I mean, that would be for emergency. you know, for 911.